Hi, I'm Alton, and I'll be giving a quick overview of different data protection options you have with SteelFusion. I'll talk about VMware backups and recovery in general, and how you would want to do it in SteelFusion. One of the key benefits to SteelFusion's zero-branch IT is no backup at the branch. What does that mean? It means that there's no need for an IT person at the branch to be doing backup. No tapes at the branch, no hard drive to store in a vault, no trucking of tapes off-site, no need for a data trucking service that might shred your tapes instead of safeguarding them. No backups across the WAN. Backups across the WAN can cause QoS issues. With SteelFusion, you can back everything up in one place, all in the data center. So let's first look at traditional backups. It doesn't matter what backup software you have. If you're taking VMware backups and the backup software uses VMware's APIs for data protection, they work the same way. The backup software on a given schedule will call ESX or vCenter to create a snapshot on a VM. When ESX receives that call, it will quiesce the application for the OS if it's instructed to do so. And when ESX creates that snapshot, what happens underneath the hood is that it redirects all I/O to what we call a delta disk, a different file. Now that there are no additional writes to that parent disk, the backup software is free to copy off the data as it knows that the parent disk data cannot be overwritten as the backup is taking place. Upon completion of the backup, the snapshot is removed, merging the data from the delta disk back to its parent, redirecting writes back to the parent as well, and then removing the delta disk. But what if you have 50 branches? As you can see here, my slide is running out of space, and I've only got 4 branches on the slide. There's no centralized data consolidation. Each branch is an island. What if you want to recover something at another branch, or if you want to recover it in the data center? You'll need backup servers and backup tapes at each branch. How much data capacity do you need for this? If you have all your backups in the data center, your backup software can dedupe that redundant data from the branches. Can you recover over the WAN? Sure. How big are your pipes? How long will it take? So let's do a quick rough estimate. It takes about 3 hours to recover or to send 30 gigabytes over a 20 megabit network. With the Steelhead, that time could potentially be dropped in about half or more. With SteelFusion, you can have your VM running in 10 minutes, and all necessary data will be downloaded on demand. So what's your RTO? What's your RPO? You can see that it can be drastically reduced with SteelFusion. Here are your options of data protection with SteelFusion. The first one is irrespective of backup. Enable Microsoft Shadow Copy services. This is one of the easiest ways of providing data protection. Shadow copies for shared folders provide point-in-time copies of files that are located on file servers. With shadow copies for shared folders, users can quickly recover deleted or changed files stored on a network without administrator assistance. That'll increase productivity and reduce administrative costs. And so what's your RPO? Near instant. What's your RTO? Near instance. The drawback to this, however, is what if somebody actually deletes the VM by accident? Or the box dies? You won't have access to that stuff. With SteelFusion, your data is already in the data center. If you have a box die, you can project the data back from the data center, or you can recover in the data center if you just replace the box. The RTO over a 3 megabit link with SteelFusion is under 15 minutes. The data is already in the data center. If you have a box die, you can replace the box, project the data back out from the data center, or if you don't replace the box, you can recover in the data center. The RTO over a 3 megabit link for a 30 gigabyte VM is under 15 minutes. Actually, the RTO for almost any size VM over a 3 megabit link is under 15 minutes because it doesn't need all of your data in the VM to power it on. All the data could be available on demand. The RPO is dependent on the size of the WAN link. It depends on how much data has been committed back to the data center. But that's still better than any snapshot. What if you didn't have SteelFusion, but had a backup of your data in the data center? On a 3 megabit link for a 30 gigabyte VM, you'll be waiting over 22 hours. 22 hours versus 15 minutes. Thirdly, storage array snapshots can be used. The snapshots can be taken on a schedule. It can be coordinated with SteelFusion or separately on the array itself. RPO on a 3 megabit link again, under 15 minutes. The RTO, it's the interval at which you take that snapshot, plus the data that's being committed from the edge. Lastly, your traditional backup softwares do work. Every backup software using the VMware APIs for data protection will work with SteelFusion. We've tested Symantec, now Veritas, NetBackup, and Backup Exec. We've tested Veeam, Backup and Recovery, Commvault, Sympana, or Virtual Server Protection, and EMC Avamar, and they all work just fine. So I have no doubts that any backup software will work. So what's your RPO? The time it takes to restore the backup plus 15 minutes on a 3 megabit link. Your RTO, again, it's the snapshot interval. So how do application consistent snapshots work? The majority of applications running on SteelFusion in the branch do not need application consistent backups. And as such, data protection can be as simple as scheduled snapshots on the array. But for applications that require application consistent snapshots, here's how it works. On a schedule configured on the SteelFusion core, the VM is asked for a snapshot. The VM snapshot is committed to the edge immediately after that snapshot is created. When the snapshot on the block stream catches up to the core will trigger the snapshot on the storage array. Simple as that. If you have a disaster at the edge, the snapshot of the LUN on the storage array could be restored, reprojected out to the edge, and then on the edge, you can revert to the latest snapshot, delete the snapshot, and you'll be back in business. What if you want to use traditional backups like Veritas or Commvault? Just add another ESX host in the data center. It'll be used as what we call the ESXi proxy host, and it will temporarily house the data so that your backup software can pull it off. We're not replacing anything. You can use your existing infrastructure and the same backup software you use in the data center to back up all of your VMs. The same steps occur as in the array snapshot. A schedule is kept on the core to do its regular snapshot. It will connect to your ESXi proxy and automatically stage your VMs so that backup software can go in on its schedule and back it up. So how do you do a restore? You have 4 options for doing restores. 4 options that are all just as good or better than with traditional backup. For recovering full VMs, you can easily restore to a new LUN on the storage array, assign it to the core, and reproject it to the edge. That's the fastest way to restore a full VM and would be impossible without SteelFusion. Over a 3 megabit link, as I've stated over again, you can have your data available to you in about 15 minutes. You can restore directly to the edge. This would mean transferring the entire VM over the WAN. Recovery time for that would depend on your WAN link and the type of backup. Different types of backups get optimized differently by the Steelhead. You would restore single files the same way as you do without SteelFusion. You can restore directly to the edge or restore to a shared folder. Now, let's take a look at a comparison of backup with SteelFusion and without. As you can see here, I've run out of space with my slide in just 4 branches without SteelFusion. You also see that that backup infrastructure is close to identical. SteelFusion allows you to use the same backup software, same storage array, and the same existing backup architecture. We've just gone through how long it takes to do a restore. There's an obvious contrast. So let's go back to the 30 gigabyte VM example. Over a 3 megabit link with SteelFusion, 15 minutes. Without SteelFusion, over 22 hours. Which would you rather have? Thanks for watching.